I had a call last week with the founder who's doing 8 million in ARR. And he goes, Frank, same ads you ran last year, double the cost, half the quality. What the hell happened? And I told him, nothing happened to your ads. Something happened to your market. Look, you hit product market fit, you got customers, you got revenue, but suddenly the math doesn't just work anymore. Cost per demo is up, your sales team is saying the leads are just browsing or not ready. So your account executives are spending half the demo re-explaining the basics. Deals that look like sure things suddenly go quiet. Competitors with fewer features are winning because they sound more modern. And that's the stall. Most teams react by tweaking the mechanics. Better ads, better creatives, more budget, but the mechanics aren't the issue. The explanation is. You're running into what I call the explanation bottleneck. And in the next minutes, I'll show you the pattern I see in companies that break through it, without adding more channels or more noise. Because here's what I learned when I sold my own SaaS company. Your GTM isn't failing because you need more traffic. It's failing because the way you're explaining the problem doesn't match how buyers think anymore. I'm Frank Hussman and I run a B2B SaaS marketing agency focused on founder-led GTM. And here's the thing, I'm not just some marketer who read a bunch of case studies. I own and sold my own SaaS company. So I've really been in your seat. I've seen the success stall across dozens of companies now. And what I realized is at this stage, you just don't need more content. You need your narrative to actually make sense. You need a system that turns your expertise into revenue without eating up your entire week. So why does growth stall? It's because most teams treat GTM as a launch artifact, something you figure out once. You created the positioning deck, the messaging doc, the homepage narrative when you were at 500K ARR. And then you basically locked it in place. You treated it like a concrete foundation. And here's what I learned when I was running my own B2B SaaS. Because in B2B SaaS, GTM isn't the foundation, it's the fuel. Early on, your buyers are the innovators. They were looking for a tool to solve a painful problem. They were willing to do the mental work to understand what you actually did. With post-product market fit, you're moving into the early majority. These buyers are skeptical. They aren't looking for a tool, they're looking for a standard. And if your explanation is still stuck in tool mode, while the market wants standard mode, you become a commodity. And commodities, they're always nice to have. They're never a must-have. So when a prospect lands on your site or sees your posts or ads, they should immediately think, these people understand my situation. If they don't feel that, your narrative is stalled. And this is the thing that kills most companies. Early buyers ask, could this work? And later stage buyers ask, why should I change what I'm already doing? That second question is 10x harder to answer. It's not about features anymore. It's about opportunity cost and risk. The modern B2B buyer is really overwhelmed. They're getting hit with 50 LinkedIn ads, and every day they get promised efficiency and ROI. They developed an immunity to marketing speak. This is why those generic LinkedIn ads are failing. You're just pushing features into a market that wants perspective. I'll give you an example. Ash, one of our clients, realized that in a crowded market, being better isn't enough. You have to be different in how you think. So he started posting strategic founder-led videos. And the result was immediate. People jumped him calls saying, oh yeah, I saw your video. He didn't have to spend 20 minutes on the sales call proving he was an expert. The video had already done the work. He moved from being a vendor to being an authority. And that's the shift from push marketing to pulling demand. All right, so here's the bottleneck I mentioned earlier. The gold, the real insights, it's trapped inside your head. But you're a founder, right? You don't have time to write 5,000 words of content every week or spend all day in a studio recording videos. Your marketing team, they're probably talented, but they aren't experts in your category. They can't invent your point of view. And here's the pattern I see across companies that break through this stall. 1 hour per month. They don't treat the founder as a content creator. They treat them like an expert witness. And here's how it works. The first part is the extraction. Once a month, a high-level 60-minute interview. Not about features, about buyer psychology, revenue impact, critique of the status quo. The second part is repurposing. Take that 1 hour and turn it into a month's worth of LinkedIn ads, founder-led videos, and sales enablement assets. Next up is the distribution. Distribute the perspective intentionally, not as feature ads, but as real thought leadership that reinforce your narrative. Let me give you a real example. Ivar, the co-founder of ISO Planner, needed to grow pipeline, but he personally was short on time. By implementing this 1 hour interview process, we created a huge amount of content that established ISO Planner as the expert in their space. It let him grow the pipeline without sacrificing his role as founder. Now let's talk about what I call the trust velocity. This is the metric that determines your sales cycle length. When your narrative is all over the place, when your website says one thing but your ads say another thing, you're paying what I call a confusion tax. But when you lead with founder authority, trust gets built before the demo even happens. And here's the proof. Robert is the CRO at StoryChief. Within the first 10 days of launching these LinkedIn video posts, he had 2 demos come in. This wasn't brand awareness fluff. This was direct response fueled by authority. Because when you align your point of view with your paid amplification, your customer acquisition costs drop. Why is that? Because your click-through rates and conversion rates go up. People don't click on ads, they click on insights. Look, if your growth is stalling, stop obsessing over your Google Ads keywords or your email open rates. Look at your narrative. Ask yourself this. If a skeptical buyer watched our last 5 pieces of content, would they learn a unique way to solve their problem? This expertise-led approach is what establishes you as the expert in the field. In the next video, I'm going to show you why founder perspective scales trust faster than company messaging and how the best teams turn that into a repeatable system. If this resonated, please subscribe. I'll keep unpacking how SaaS founders build GTM that actually compounds. I'm Frank Husman, and I'll see you in the next video.